Today we're checking out the all-new Honor 600, which is the next step up from the previous Honor 400 that we looked at before. I want to thank them for sending this over to review on the channel. They're finding out what I think of this phone the same time you are once they watch this video. It starts with 128 gigabytes of storage and 8 gigabytes of RAM. I'll leave a link down below with current pricing and more information. I believe this one starts at under $500, so should be comparable to other phones in this category, like the Galaxy S25 FE. It's got a 6.57 inch AMOLED display at up to 120 Hz refresh rate. Screen resolution is 2728 by 1264 and up to 6500 nits peak brightness, which seems pretty crazy. It's also IP68, IP69, K, dust and water resistant. Design-wise, this actually looks somewhat familiar. I gotta say, this actually looks much better in person than I was expecting. Even has an extra button down here at the bottom below the power and volume buttons. It's a slightly different orange than on my iPhone 17 Pro. Cameras actually look pretty similar. I think the build quality on this actually looks nicer than I was expecting. You can see it is a little bit shorter than the S25 FE, a little bit thicker as well. Fairly lightweight at only 190 grams. It's definitely a little more rounded on the corners as well. Feels very similar to an iPhone. Also has Wi-Fi 7 and up to 6 years of software updates. Definitely some of the smallest or thinnest bezels I've seen. During setup, you get the fingerprint scanner, face unlock, and of course password. The scanner seems a little bit lower than I would like to see. Not bad though. Of course, you have Gemini as the assistant. It also has an AI button there on the side towards the bottom where you've got a lot of different options on what that button does. Of course, you have gestures or 3-button navigation, which you can also change later in the settings. It's currently on Magic OS 10. Here's what the lock screen looks like. You've also got always on display there as well. Fingerprint scanner seems to work pretty good on here. You can see just the style of the shortcuts. Again, very similar to the iPhone. I think I'm okay with that. It looks pretty good. If you swipe down, it'll do a search. Google Discover Newsfeed left to the home screen. And then of course, there's a lot of different ways that you can customize how things look on here and how they're organized. Overall, I like how the software looks on here. Kind of a mix between what you would see on an iPhone, on Android, mixed together. You've got quite a few things you can choose from for the AI button, like camera, AI screen suggestions, AI settings, AI photos, memories, Google Lens, or you can just turn it off. They also have a handful of other AI stuff in the settings that you can mess with as well. The version I have here is using about 37 gigabytes right out of the box, but this is the 512 gigabyte version, so I don't think you'll have to worry about this filling up. Kind of interesting, this actually says that it's on Android 15. You would think it would be 16, but okay. Nice thing is they don't really put a lot of pre-installed apps on here, just a handful from Google. You can also switch it from 60 or 120 Hz refresh rate. Kind of interesting, but you can open an app, swipe it up like you're gonna close it, but it will leave it open in a little mini window. And then you can just drag it to the bottom to remove it. Screen quality looks pretty nice on here in person. It has good contrast. Blacks seem nice and dark. The screen seems plenty bright enough as well. I noticed I couldn't install Geekbench 6 on this phone, and I'm wondering if it has to do with the RAM on this phone. It actually only says 2 gigabytes plus 8 gigabytes of turbo RAM. To me, that sounds like virtual RAM, which isn't quite the same. Of course, it also says 1000 milliamp hour battery, and I'm pretty sure that's not accurate either. Unless that's a typo, because only 2 gigabytes of physical RAM would be extremely low for 2026. Performance-wise, this actually seems pretty good in my testing. It's got a Snapdragon 7 Gen 4 processor with 8 gigabytes of RAM. I know when playing PUBG Mobile and Asphalt Legends Unite, it played fairly smooth at the highest settings possible. It didn't seem to overheat or anything like that, so that's always good to see. I think most people are gonna like the performance on this phone. Sort of crazy, but this actually has a 6400 milliamp hour battery. It's got up to 80 watt fast charging and 27 watt reverse charging. Kind of interesting though, when I ran my typical battery drain test at 100% screen brightness, this lasted only about 8.5 hours, which is not that great compared to most other phones that I've been testing. It's also about half an hour less than the Honor 400, which has a much smaller battery. I assume part of that is because this has a brighter screen, but definitely definitely not as long of battery life that I was expecting. The speakers actually sound pretty good on here. I'll give you a quick audio sample to see if you can hear a difference from this and the Honor 400. The main camera on the back is 200 megapixels and then a 12 megapixel ultra wide. Then you have a 50 megapixel front facing camera as well. And you can shoot up to 4K resolution for video recording. In the camera app, you've got night, portrait, photo, video, pro. Under more, you've got multi-video, slow-mo, panorama, time-lapse, underwater, super macro, high-res, and scan document. You can see when viewing the photos, it actually brightens them a little bit, kind of enhances each one. It actually looks really good. Here's a few quick samples just to give you an idea of what to expect on the new Honor 600. Photo and video quality actually look pretty good on here. Probably a little better than I was expecting. I may have to do a comparison to see how this stacks up to some of the other phones that I have, but so far I like what I'm seeing. Hopefully this gave you a little closer look at the new Honor 600. It definitely has some pretty interesting features. I think there are some things that need updated, like where it says the phone specs in the About Phone section. But overall, very nice build quality, and it's just always nice to check out phones that we don't normally get to see in my region. If you like phones, tablets, and other tech, I've got a lot more stuff that I'm working on as usual, so keep an eye out for those upcoming videos. So if you've made it this far into the video, you may want to say thanks by subscribing, and don't forget to give a thumbs up if this video was helpful. This is Brian from Fishbee Productions. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.